My name is Jason Bahamundi, and I want to welcome you to our Tuesday Fireside Chats that we host every Tuesday here on Instagram Live. We Keith Hughes, the race director of Boise Running, who has 4 events coming up here. First will be Idaho Running Day in Boise, Idaho. That's on September 17th. Then he has the She Shell Half Marathon in Key West, Florida on March 4th, 2023, as well as She Powers in Boise, Idaho, again on March 25th, 2023. But before that, the Turkey Day 5K taking place in Boise and Caldwell, Idaho on November 24th. Other events we'll be talking about, or have been talking about, that we want you to be aware of is the Monarch Triathlon on October 22nd, 2022 in Kingman, Arizona. Race Chingona, which is an all-women's bike ride in San Antonio, Texas. 10, 20, 40, or 65-mile routes take place on November 19th, 2022. We also have the She Tries Sprint Triathlon in Hamlin, which will be in Mount Pleasant, Charleston, South Carolina. And that event will take place on August 20th, 2022, and has an awesome start, which will be via a water slide if you so choose. So that's really cool. And then the last one to talk about is the Lagomar Races, which take place in Texas City, Texas on August 20th and 21st. And so without perfect timing, without further ado, we have Keith Hughes, race director for Boise Running, which will, again, like I said, we'll be putting on Idaho Running Day on September 17th of this year, as well as the She Shell Half Marathon in Key West, Florida on March 4th. The She Powers 5K and Half Marathon in Boise, Idaho on March 25th. She Shell will take place in Key West, Florida, by the way. And then also Turkey Day 5K coming up on November 24th in Boise and Caldwell, Idaho. Keith, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you taking the time out to chat.
Absolutely, Brandon. Great to see you.
Awesome. And so one of the things that we want to do is help you talk about Idaho Running Day. It's a big event taking place in September at Lucky Peak State Park. It's got 4 distances that you guys are offering. You want to talk about those different distances and why you have them set up this way?
Sure. So we're offering all 4 distances: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, and full. And for some of this is a first-year event, so all 4 are going to be on the same day. Usually, what I've done is when we get an established event, they start growing. Once the half marathon and marathon get to a substantial size, where we've got 750, 1,000 runners in each of those, we'll put those on their own standalone day, and then run the other ones separately. But right now, just the cost of putting on events, streets, it's just cost effective for us to have everybody come out and run everything on the same day. It makes it a much more festive atmosphere for folks coming out when there's a big crowd. And it's just the nature of having a first-year event. It takes a few years to get them built up and established till you've got volume where you can just do everything on their own separate date.
That's awesome. One of the things you just mentioned was costs of an event. And I want to talk about that a little bit from a race director's perspective, because we've had other race directors on here, and I want athletes to understand that this isn't something that, you just wake up one day and you're like, I'm putting on a race, and you throw some bibs at some athletes and it goes from there. Talk a little bit about all the things that have to go right for you to have a successful race as a race director, especially cost.
Yeah, so cost is a huge one. We spend thousands of dollars creating the brand. What's it going to look like? What's the logo going to be? And then getting the banners, all the signs that go with each branded event. You can do small races. You see them all the time where they use the same generic numbers for your mileage signs and everything. We don't like to do that. We like to have everything branded so each event feels like something special. It's not like you're just going to every other event. So there's typically a whole branding package for us with all the signage and everything, getting the logos done, course markers, runs $25,000. And that's money we spend before registration's even open. What's it going to look like, what it's going to be about. And then the costs, then there's advertising cost. I mean, we spend thousands of dollars advertising and marketing the events to get people to come out. And then there's the actual cost of putting the race on, and it goes beyond the t-shirts, the medals, the timing, all of that stuff adds up. I mean, between a good quality t-shirt, your race medal, and timing, you're talking $15, $16 per athlete. And then divide all those other expenses out across the number of athletes that you get. And then there's the fixed cost with running the event. What does it cost to rent the course or close the course for the day? We donate money back to volunteer groups to man every aid station and make sure there's people at your aid stations and your aid stations are covered. All the post-race food, the energy drinks and the food that's on your course, all of those are set cost. And, it depends on the size of the course and number of runners. This course, we're doing a closed course on the Boise Greenbelt. So our traffic control costs are low for this particular event, but we're planning to move it to downtown Boise on the city streets next year. For the Turkey Day 5K, which is our 3-mile run, all on city streets downtown Boise, but before one runner shows up, the cost of closing all of those intersections, and there's 67 intersections that we cross on that 5K run, that bill, just the road closure cost for the traffic control company to set out the signs and have their flaggers or the police there is just over $40,000.
Wow.
So it's a huge nut to cover for a 5K run, but it's why there's so few running events on city streets anymore where they're closing down. You have to have such a huge volume of runners and sponsors just to break even. So.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things you didn't talk about that I know firsthand from working with Brandy Reimers and the Monarch is your time to apply for these street closures, to possibly have to go to a city council meeting, to have to visit with, EMT and police and all of those things to plot all of this out. So, if you're talking about putting on an event, what's the lead time for a race director, typical?
We usually start 18 months out, getting the paperwork filed, writing safety plans. So I'll use City of Boise because we do so much in Boise, but it's pretty much the same for Key West, Miami, Chicago, where we do events, where we have to have the police department sign off, and it's usually the police department for your traffic safety plan. Then there's another representative from the police department, your crowd control plan and your security plan, especially after 9/11. That's a huge, or the Boston bombing, that's been a huge component of it. Then we have waste management. They want to see our recycling plans, sign off on the recycling plans, trash collection plans. Then there's Central District Health. They want to know how we're cleaning our water bins before we put water that we're serving on the course. How is the food at the finish line being served, and make sure we're following the guidelines there. Then there's the parking commission. We're closing streets down. What are we going to do with the cars that are parked on the streets? How do we prevent those parking on? And then just that 5K in Boise, we have to deal with the Idaho Transportation Department because we cross one of their inner city highways. We deal with the county highway department because we cross theirs, some of their roads, and then the city's traffic control department. So there's so many layers. I think there's 23 different signatures that have to sign off on the special event permit for the city of Boise. When I was directing the Ironman triathlon in Boise, we had 28 different agencies that had to sign off on it. But there we were closing the reservoir, but the Department of Homeland Security runs security across the Rock Dam that we crossed for the start of the bike course. We had to go through our safety plans to make sure nobody can come out and bomb the dam while we're shutting the dam down and crossing that. So it's every event's different, but it's not a simple, easy thing, and it's getting more complicated. Cities are taking their permitting way more seriously because there's so many events, not just running events, but every fair and festival, every parade needs a city permit, and the cities are just getting inundated with permitting requests. So.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, just thinking about all of those things, right? And you haven't even talked about race registrations. Yeah, and so, there's more headaches to it in a sense. But one of the things that is really cool about Idaho Running Day is the different opportunities for athletes. 5K and 10K are great opportunities for people who are just getting started in these sports, and you're having a onesie contest out there with that, which is really cool. And will be electrifying for people to be a part of. Then you have a half marathon, and you have a Boston qualifying marathon as well. Talk about race registration, pre-pandemic, and today. Have you seen people coming back, and is this why you're having to add onesie contests and those kind of things to get people excited to come back out?
Well, the onesie contests and stuff we do, we always try and add some sort of theme to our 5K, 10K runs. People don't have to do it. People want to come out and run. They want to get their 5K time. But it adds a fun element. We're starting to see that trend pre-pandemic where people were getting burned out on just the straight hardcore running events. They want to be entertained and want to come out and do something fun with their friends. So we try adding those themes and adding that component to it. Makes it that much more fun. And the 5K, 10K runs are vital to the growth of our half marathon and marathon business. People have to start somewhere, and we want them to come out for that very first run experience and have a blast, have a fun time. Even if somebody doesn't come out in a onesie, or if we do a 2-2 run, or we do a heroes and villains run down here in the Keys. Even if they're not participating, we want them to come out and like, oh man, I wish I wore a costume. This looks like so much fun. But we want people to have that fun and create that energy where they want to come back, and maybe they want to progress. Hey, I ran my first 5K. I'm going to run another one, but then I want to step up to a 10K, and I want to run a half marathon by the end of next year. And creating that goal, because without those, the sport's not going to sustain, that marathon community. And we noticed for years the number of people participating in marathons has been declining, and it's just we've lost that feed of people into that younger group coming in. That's why I'm so active. We don't do a lot of kid-specific events, but there's a number of businesses around that do, and I am always promoting those and sharing that stuff on all of our social media platforms just to get the kids really addicted into that healthy lifestyle, but wanting to keep running and get that energy out, because that's what's going to sustain our business long haul.
Absolutely. You guys are doing something special, maybe not for kids, meaning 5 to 12-year-olds, but you're doing something special in the form of scholarships through Idaho Running Day. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it just I love kids, getting kids and supporting kids and supporting athletics. So we're going to set up for 2023 the $1,000 scholarship for a male and female, and kids that are going on to continue their running career in college. And we're not looking for that scholar athlete that's got a full ride scholarship to go run track. We want somebody that's passionate about running, that's going to school mainly for academics, but wants to continue their track and field career, but they're not going to get offered that scholarship. We want to be able to contribute and help them continue that and continue that love of their sport.
Awesome. For those of you who are just joining us, my name is Jason Bahamundi. I'm one of the co-owners of Run, Try, Bike. I'm being joined today on our Fireside Chats by Keith Hughes, who is the race director for Boise Running, which has a handful of events coming up, specifically Idaho Running Day on September 17th, 2022 in Lucky Peak State Park in Boise, Idaho, plus their, I believe it's Boise's longest Turkey Day race, which will be a Turkey Day 5K in Boise and added into Caldwell, Idaho, November 24th. The She Shells Half Marathon in Key West, Florida, which will be taking place on March 4th, 2023, as well as the She Powers 5K and Half Marathon back in Boise, Idaho on March 25th, 2023. So I think I've got them all.
March is going to be a busy month.
Yeah, clearly. So, we've talked about, the cost and the 18 months of planning and pre-pandemic, post-pandemic. Why add the She Powers and the She Shell to your roster of events, and how does that change the face of your business?
I really like the all women's running events, and same thing. I used to direct the Iron Girl when Ironman had their Iron Girl series. I directed a number of their races, had licensing events for those, and just the energy of those all women's events. And again, going back to what I was talking about is getting those people to come out and experience their first event. That was the whole concept between Iron Girl, and same thing with the She Power event and the She Shell Half Marathon, is getting women into a spot where they're comfortable running and they want to come out with their friends and have a really fun experience and get them addicted. And, maybe they're a little nervous about going to a huge event that's got 20, 30,000 runners on their first event out and getting lost. We want them to come out, have a fun, intimate experience with their friends and really get pampered and treated well and enjoy the experience. Both my daughters like running their events, but they don't like running in front of boys. I got teenage girls. They love running, but it's it's part of it. I've got some personal motivation there. So.
Yeah, and we've seen an uptick. It feels like we've seen an uptick in women's only events in the last couple of years. I know us here at Run Tri Bike, we're working with the Monarch Triathlon, which is an all-female event, as well as the She Tri Sprint Triathlon, again, all-female event, and Race Chingona, which is, again, another all-female event taking place. And it just feels like we're seeing more and more of that, which is great, and I think you're correct in that giving the women an opportunity to be comfortable in those events and be able to have the opportunity to grow, right? 5K, 10K. I think that's really important. I think that's how I got started in these events. Is I started with the 5K and matured my way up, and I've been doing this for 15 years now. Talk about a little bit about the 5K and 10K events at Idaho Running Day and how you see that being separate from the half marathon and marathon, because they're all going to take place at the same time. How do you separate those two events leading into the half and full marathon events simultaneously?
Yeah, so those both start after the half marathon and marathon go. Obviously, we get the long distance runners out and going, and we'll have separate starts for the 5K and 10K events. But they're going to get the same finish festival treatment. We've got beautiful finisher medals for them. And then our goal is for next year, once the event's established, moving it to right downtown Boise, getting on the city streets, and then doing the 5K, 10K on Saturday and the half and full on Sunday. So breaking them out so they've got their own event.
That's pretty cool. And for those of you who are looking for what the finisher medals for Idaho Running Day look like, just visit Boise Running on Instagram. They've got a couple of pictures up there, or go to Facebook and you'll see them there as well. So are the runners for the 5K and 10K for this year, anyway, they're going to be starting later, but will they be running on essentially the same course, just a lot shorter? And
Yes.
What is that?
Yeah, same course. They'll just have out and backs on this particular course. We're starting finishing at Sandy Point Beach. For those that aren't familiar with it, it's a beautiful park just below Lucky Peak Reservoir. It's on the outflow side of the dam at Lucky Peak Reservoir. So below the reservoir, right at the start of the Boise River into Boise, it's a beautiful trail run, paved trail. Leaves Sandy Point Beach, then it goes to Discovery Park, which is just a nice tree-filled park, picnic tables, and then they'll go out along the Boise River. Obviously, the 5K goes out about 1.5 miles, turns around and comes back. The 10K will go out, 3.1 miles, turn around and come back.
What do you, weather-wise, it's mid-September. I'm here in Arizona. Mid-September is still going to be hot. What's the weather going to be like in Boise at that time for the athletes participating?
It's Boise. I've had 78-degree weather for races in February in Boise, freezing cold races. Typically, your average temperature is going to be low 80s that time of year during the day. It'll probably be in the 60s in the morning when the 5K, 10K are running and warm up throughout the day for the half marathon and marathon. But nice, cool morning weather. So.
Awesome. And the marathon, let's talk about that a little bit more. It's a Boston qualifying event, correct?
Yes.
As a race director, is that important to you, and why to have the marathon be a Boston qualifying event?
Well, it's so people understand we certify all of our marathon courses. People want that to know they're running exactly the right distance. So we always have the marathon courses certified. And that's, if your course is certified, it's a Boston Marathon qualifier. There's some runs that we do that are extremely hilly, and there's no way you're going to make a qualifying time on some of those courses. They're still certified, but we pushed this course. We laid it out so it is a fast, flat out and bike. It's a racetrack. So If you're going to make a qualifying time, it's going to be hard to get a faster course than this unless you find like a nice long 26-mile gradual downhill.
So it's back. Is it a wide loop? Are you going out to basically a cone and having to make a sharp U-turn and come back in?
Yeah, so the marathon is actually a 2-lap marathon. So they'll be coming back just before the finish line. It is not like turning around a block. It'll be a series of cones, but that one you're turning around in the middle of intersection, so you got a wide turn. The
Okay.
far end, at basically the half end point of the cart, that is a fairly narrow turn. We're going to be making a U-turn around our series of cones, and we'll have an aid station there where you're turning around and doing that turnaround. But the rest of the course is flat, all out, run as hard as you can. So
And so then the half marathon is one loop of that course.
one lap of that course. Yeah.
So what tips do you have for the athletes that are participating to ensure that they'll either PR or qualify for Boston?
So we use pacers at all of our half marathon and marathon events. So if you're looking to qualify and you know what time you need to qualify, find that pacer and run with that pacer. I've been using Beast Pacing out of California for years. They bring runners in, and they're always great. They're so motivating, so encouraging to the group that's running with them for their time. And it helps so much to be running with the group, to have people encouraging as you're going. They know your goal, and they're going to be there to support you the whole way. It makes such a big difference. If you're trying to qualify for Boston, whether it's one of our races or any other race, or if you're trying to make a PR time, find a race that has pacers in it. It makes a big, big difference for you in doing. At least I've always found that. The feedback we've always gotten is like, oh my gosh, the pacer pushed me to my PR. It was so fantastic. We get so much positive feedback, and I can't say enough about having the pacers at courses if you're trying to achieve a set goal. So
That's awesome. So for you athletes out there, you'll be able to find this. If you didn't hear every word Keith said, you'll be able to find this on our website and our YouTube channel before the week is up. And make sure you pay attention to what he's giving you advice on as far as qualifying for Boston or for setting a PR, and participate with the Beast Pacers that they bring on board from California.
Yeah, the big thing the pacers is they'll know that per mile pace, and they'll start you out at the pace. I see so many runners that are so big thing that happens. People get excited at the start of the race.
Yeah.
Gun goes off, and bam, they're off and going. And 2 miles in, they're like, oh my gosh, I am dead. I'm shot, and I got 24 miles to run. Those pacers are going to run that, do you want to run an 8.5-minute mile pace? Every mile is going to be on that pace. They're going to start you out at that pace. If you're taking off out in front, like, hey, this is our pace, you're welcome to go, but run that pace. And I tell that, with the same thing, from triathlons, biggest thing I tell swimmers, take a deep breath. If you're in a big triathlon, let that crowd go and let them sprint. Swim is such a small portion of the triathlons. Take your time, breathe every stroke, relax, come out of that water refreshed and ready to do your race. So.
Well, I'm that guy that needs to have that pacer, because even at long trail runs, 1,500 miles, like you're just excited. You've been training for 6 months to a year potentially, and when that gun goes off, you're like, let's go. You feel like a caged animal.
And we'll take responsibility for it, because we usually have the crazy announcers hyping everybody up. We've got that thumping music, and everybody's excited, screaming, yelling, that gun's off. Yes, let's go.
Yeah. I have my race mantra is all gas and no brakes. Unfortunately, I run out of gas a lot of times. I don't need the brakes. The car just stops.
Yes. Yeah.
So for the athletes, they've got their marching orders, so to speak. But for family and friends and spectators, where will they be able to go out at the state park for Idaho Running Day to be able to watch their family and friends participate in your event?
Yeah, for this course, there's a couple of places. So the far turnaround on the marathon course and the turnaround for the half marathon course is at a park. It's Marianne Williams Park. It is a beautiful park. If you want to stay away from the crowds at the start-finish line, cheer your runner on out on the course where they really might need that support, Marianne Williams Park is a great place to go. Otherwise, and come out to Sandy Point Park and just enjoy the start-finish festival and everything that's going on there.
So for you spectators who are going, make sure you have your signs ready for the athletes as well to inspire and motivate them. The Beast Pacers will get them there, but they'll need your help. So make sure you have some good signs when you go out there. You talked about the finish line. You're going to have a beer garden sponsored by Payette Brewing. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we'll have beer at the finish line at our post-race food. And then Pay It Brewing is hosting a Finnish festival, a Finnish party that evening. So we'll have live bands there at the party, and that's where we'll give out the award medals for age group awards and overall awards for the half marathon and marathon. We'll do the 5K, 10K on site that morning, but the awards, the overall and age group awards, we'll give out at Pay It Brewing that evening. So everybody can relax after the race. They can go back, get showered. Because the marathons, we don't want to give out the awards till everybody has finished, at least, especially in the slower age groups. It's always so disappointing. They come in and all the awards will be coming out. And they go up like, oh, I got a medal, and there's nobody around. So we like having everybody come together, just celebrate your accomplishment. Whether it's a half marathon or a marathon, they're both big accomplishments. So you come out and celebrate it together and enjoy some live music and enjoy the atmosphere at Pay It Brewing. They've got a beautiful outdoor beer garden, so we'll be under the lights there Saturday evening.
That's awesome. So it's an all-day event, folks. So, register, go to boiserunning.com, click on the tab at the top that's got Idaho Running Day on there. Registration link is right there. Go there and register and understand. You're going to have a full day of events, from running a 5K through a marathon, and then head over to Pay It Brewing in the evening after you've cleaned up and enjoy the celebration of your efforts. Thank you for those of you who have just joined us. My name is Jason Bahamundi. I'm one of the owners of Run Try Bike. We're talking to Keith Hughes, the race director for Boise Running and specifically Idaho Running Day. And we're going to switch gears a little bit now with Keith and talk about two events that are coming up next year that I want to start to get some exposure on. One is the She Sells, say that 5 times fast, She Sells Half Marathon, Key West, Florida on March 4th, and the She Powers 5K and half marathon in Boise, Idaho on March 25th. Give us some information about both of those. Let's start with She Shells in Key West, Florida.
Yep. So the She Shell half marathon, we haven't even announced it yet. Logo's not up. It's not up on the website. It'll be up here in the next 2 weeks. We just locked that in. It is a spectacular course. If you've never been to Key West, and we're doing it March, right at the hard end of big winter season. So everybody be ready to come play someplace warm and tropical and run. So we've got an amazing course that's up and down Duval Street, which is the heart of the tourist section of Key West. And then the rest of the course loops right along the ocean on Roosevelt Boulevard. You'll be running along the beach the whole way. Part of the course takes you out and back on the White Street Pier, which is the big pier that goes out over the ocean. Just an epic course. And just a beautiful finish. Finish Festival is going to be on the beach at the finish line. So look for all those details, and we'll be getting registration, announcing that with One Try Mag here in the next few weeks. But super, super excited about this event. So
that's awesome. And what about the She Power? Which will be taking place 3 weeks later. You're going to be busy.
It is, yeah. So back in Boise, the She Power Half Marathon. That's a new event that we launched, and there's events we're launching with another group of race directors. We have one in Indianapolis and one down in Chandler, Arizona. One in Boise. We've got a beautiful start-finish festival at the Idaho Botanical Gardens. Something you're not going to find any other races doing in Boise. Again, we try and do something unique with all of our events. So we'll be at the start-finish at the Idaho Botanical Gardens for that one.
By the way, Keith keeps mentioning different unique things that his organization does with the events, from hosting it at the Boise Botanical Gardens to having a unique finisher experience at Pay It Brewing after Idaho Running Day. The other thing that they typically do is associate with a nonprofit. And I would be remiss if I don't mention that Idaho Running Day is partnered with the Idaho Humane Society. As a dog guy, and you can go to runtrymag.com. We've got Your Best Running Buddy on there, so you can see other athletes who race with dogs. Talk about what athletes, part of their proceeds or donations or whatever it may be to help the Idaho Humane Society.
Yeah, so we give a portion of every registration fee back to whatever nonprofit we're working with for the events. Then we also give them the opportunity where we give them a registration code that they can go out and promote. And anytime somebody uses that code, we give them an extra $5 for that, for promoting that event. So Idaho Running Day, it's the Idaho Humane Society. And we picked that So Mike Schumann created or launched Hughes Idaho Running Company in Boise back in the early 2000s. He was the first runner I met when I moved to Boise in 2005. He became my run course director for Ironman Boise while I was there, and became one of my best friends. And he and Idaho Running Company, they support every running event. It is not exclusive to our events. They support and promote every single running event. They do so much with kids programs. They work with all the local high school track teams, cross country teams. And Mike is just passionate about running and loves it. He's given so much back to the community. And he recently retired, passed the store on to Leon, who's a store owner, but they've been partners there for years. But yeah, the marathon is the Hughes Idaho Running Marathon, and it's a tribute for everything that Mike has done for the Idaho community. Not just my events, but for every event out there. And he is passionate. He comes out to all of our events, runs with his dogs.
It's awesome.
And the Idaho Humane Society is definitely his nonprofit of choice, which is why we selected that one for Idaho Running Day. If you missed it, up on our social media pages, you'll see Minnie. She is our adoptable dog of the week. She is a border collie mix, so a fantastic running partner. And we'll feature a different dog every Monday that will make, and we're focusing on, there's all kinds of dogs there, but our focuses are going to be dogs that will make great running buddies for everybody.
And if I'm not mistaken, if an athlete adopts a dog between now and September 10th, I think, they get into the event for free.
If you adopted a dog from Idaho Humane Society, we will comp your entry. Yes.
So folks, do something great for yourself by adopting a dog, do something great for the dog by adopting them, and get a free race entry into Idaho Running Day on September 17th. That's a win-win-win for everybody, if you ask me. I'm a huge
And then
dog.
also, and when you register for Idaho Running Day, there's an option to make a donation, an extra donation to the Idaho Humane Society. That stuff, we never see that. That goes straight from the registration company right to the Idaho Humane Society. So last I looked, it was already, I think we were just over $500 people have already donated back. That's gone straight to them. So
that's awesome. And I know the Idaho Humane Society really appreciates that, because every dollar counts, and, giving these dogs an opportunity, and cats, pets of all species, opportunity, right? As we get close to starting to wrap up here in a little bit, is there anything you need athletes to know about for Idaho Running Day specifically, as we're going to be coming up on it real soon?
I know like the half marathoners like to know what's going to be on the course. So every aid station, we use Scratch Labs energy drink. I believe we'll have their lemon lime drink for the energy drink, water at every aid stations. Every aid station we do, especially this time of year, the warmer time of year, we've got sliced oranges in ice that you can grab a quarter of an orange to take with you while you're running. And then some of the aid stations, like the Boise Convention and Visitors Bureau, they are sponsoring one of the aid stations. They're coming out. They're going to bring some sort of special Idaho food that they'll have in addition to their aid station. Therapeutic associations, they've got the turnaround aid station for the marathon and half marathon. Their marketing director is a fanatical 80s rock fiend. So I believe they're gonna look like an 80s long hair band out at their aid station for you when you're coming around there. They'll have some special food out there for you. I know we tend to do something extra at every aid station on the course. So, but the really important stuff is the water and what energy drink we're having. So, so if you haven't had it, Scratch Labs, it's my favorite. I use it. It's not something we're sponsored. We pay for it. It's I like the product and have a long history of using their products on the course. So that's why it's there. It's not something that gets donated. They don't sponsor the event. We purchase that because that's what I want on the course for the marathoners.
By the way, folks, that also goes into the cost that Keith and I talked about when we first started. So it's not common.
Yes.
How far apart are the aid stations for the half marathon and marathoners?
It's because some of the places are inaccessible by road. They're anywhere from 1.5 miles to 2 miles, but no further than that. We have the marathoner. There's 5 locations because it's a 2-lap course. So on the marathon, you're going to pass 20 aid stations.
Oh,
It'll be
that's
10 aid stations on the half marathon course.
Yeah, so folks, whether it's a warm day or not, but really if it's a warm day, 28 stations, make sure you're grabbing your water, your ice, your orange slices, your scratch labs as you go through and stay hydrated throughout the day. And having 28 stations is phenomenal. That's a lot.
It is, but so critical for the marathoners. And when you're saying, hey, any advice for the runners? Again, starting out slow, start out at your pace. Don't go gung ho to start. Take that energy drink early in the course. I know so many people will start out and they want to go 10, 15 miles just focusing on water. Get that energy drink. Don't deplete that bottle. Once you go below your threshold for your energy levels, you're not going to recover. So stay ahead of the curve on that. So take the energy drink. It's there for a reason. So
absolutely. And folks, go to boiserunning.com, get all the information. There are course maps out there as well for you to check out. Plus the registration link is there. You can also visit our site at runtrimag.com. Under events, there, Boise Running is there. You could go and visit Idaho and Utah states specifically, and you'll see them under the featured events in those two states as well. The event is September 17th. There's a 5K and a 10K with a onesie contest option if you want to participate in that. Then the half marathon and marathon, which are going to be flat and fast. So you have an opportunity to PR and or qualify for Boston at the marathon event. So don't hesitate, register today. And while you're at it, donate some money to the Idaho Humane Society as well. Before we jump into rapid fire, Keith, you've got other sponsors. Let's give them a shout out because they're important to having you be able to put on these events.
Yeah, so KO Labs is another stretching company, physical therapy, body massage company. They will be out on site. Bodyology is another massage therapy center. They'll be giving away 2 one-hour massages. We're going to do that to 2 random participants from all the events. So even if you're doing the 5K, you got a shot at getting a nice 1-hour massage from Bodyology. The Boise Visitors and Convention Bureau, they're one of our primary sponsors. They're also covering one of the aid stations. Therapeutic Associates, they are my go-to physical therapy place in Boise. I've had so many surgeries, and that's where I'm at. Post-operative recovery all the time. They are the leader in Boise, and they've got facilities all over the valley. So I believe they've got 5 locations now throughout the greater Boise area.
And then lastly, from us here at Run Tri Mag, guys, we are selling trucker hats on our website and also on our Instagram account. 20% of the proceeds of that hat will fund 2 scholarships through Fund Her Tri for female triathletes to participate. They'll cover 2 scholarships there. And then also our sister company, Caw, which is Kick-Ass Women, is cawtri.com, and we have 4 or 5 new designs on that site for you guys to check out. So Keith, let's jump into the rapid. Go ahead.
Got one more sponsor. Totally forgot. One of our primary sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, and they do most of our events, and they are, Idaho's big credit union, and they support so many athletic events throughout the valley. Again, not just ours. They are super involved in the athletic community. So big thank you to them.
And guys, I've known Keith and talked to Keith for about 4 to 6 months now, and the passion that he has for his events it resonates through emails, through text messages, through phone conversations. You will not be disappointed when you register for the event and what you're going to be experiencing, because an event is not just going out and running and coming back. Start corrals, finish lines, having an opportunity to go to a beer garden later in the day for age group awards to be given out, for half marathon and marathons, the opportunity for people to get a 1-hour massage. Like, these are all unique things to Keith's event here for Idaho Running Day through Boise Running. And I'm sure we'll hear more about the She Sells as well as the She Powers events and the unique components about that. So make sure you visit boiserunning.com, click on the register button, and get yourself to Boise, Idaho. It's going to be in the fall, so I'm imagining by then you'll probably have some leaves changing colors too, give or take, right?
Yeah, it might be a hair early for that. Usually hit that peak of fall foliage mid-October in Boise. So, but it's still a beautiful course. You're along the biggest, widest part of the Boise River in there. So.
Perfect. So rapid fire now. This is my favorite part because we've got all the serious part over with, and now we can talk about the fun. When you're out running, music, podcasts, or nothing at all?
Oh, music.
Favorite type of music?
Oh, classic rock.
And
Give me a little Jimi Hendrix, Rolling Stones, Eric Clapton.
There you go.
I can run on just with Layla on repeat from Eric Clapton. So. I just dated myself big time.
I was going to say, for all the young people that have joined us, just go Google Eric Clapton and you'll understand why Keith runs to that. That's awesome. Now, here's a controversial topic. Ohm, who is one of our co-owners, and I disagree on this vehemently. Pineapple or on pizza, yay or nay?
Yay.
Oh, come on.
My favorite pizza, habanero sweet pickle.
Oh, my goodness. We'll have to off camera.
But no, pineapple's fun. I'm here in our Key West office. You have to have pineapple on your pizza.
Yeah. What's a location-based thing then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Red velvet, yay or nay? Red velvet cake, yay or nay?
Yay. Yay-ish.
Yay. I mean, it's just chocolate cake with red icing or red food coloring, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's, again, Key West, key lime pie.
There you go.
Got it.
I'm with you on that. I love key lime pie. It's my favorite.
Yes, and for the she shell half, you can expect and count on key lime pie at the finish line. So.
Awesome. Candy corn, gross or not gross?
Essential pre-race nutrition.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Did you see that Brock's, the maker of candy corn, is going to be introducing a hot dog flavored candy corn?
Okay, that I would put on gross right away.
Peeps, gross or not gross?
Oh, really good. You got to let them age for a few days so they're a little crunchy.
I gotta tell you, you're the third or fourth person in the last 4 to 6 weeks that I've heard say that. I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah.
So,
I believe it or not, I'm much a health food addict. Try and do all our meals very healthy, but it may not sound like it from this rapid fire, but you're ruining my reputation. So.
No, we have to enjoy our lives. Even if you're eating candy corn and stale Peeps, enjoy them. Circus peanuts, gross or not gross? And I don't mean the roasted ones. I mean those orange styrofoam looking things.
Oh, those are nasty. Can never handle those. Yeah.
Perfect. Favorite movie?
The Big Chill. Again, dating myself.
Yeah, clear. So again, for all you youngsters out there, make sure you go to Google and check out The Big Chill, and make sure you watch it too. Favorite book?
The Long Walk Home, Nelson Mandela's autobiography. If you haven't read it, it is a must read for every human being. So.
Awesome. So again, folks, this is Keith Hughes. He's the race director for Boise Running, which has 4 events coming up, and those are going to be Idaho Running Day on September 17th in Boise, Idaho. The Turkey Day 5K, which is Boise's oldest Turkey Day traditional run 5K, which has added Caldwell, Idaho to the roster as well. So you can participate in Boise or in Caldwell, Idaho. That's on November 24th. The She Shells Half Marathon taking place in Key West, Florida. So get out of the cold of Boise and go visit Key West on March 4th and go run a half marathon. And then the She Powers event back in Boise on March 25th, which will be a half marathon and a 5K as well, and taking place at the Boise Botanical Garden, correct?
Idaho Botanical Gardens.
Idaho Botanical Garden, excuse me. You can get all this information at boiserunning.com, and soon the She Shells information will be up there as well. Keith, anything you want to tell our audience before we say goodbye?
Nope, just encourage everybody, keep running, keep doing triathlons, stay active, and do it for as long as you possibly can.
Awesome. Appreciate your time. Go ahead.
And bring your friends out. Bring your friends out to run and try with you. So.
That's right. I mean, that's exactly why we started this business a year and a half ago, was because we believe that there is a spot at the starting line for everybody. So for you veterans that are already participating in these events, bring a friend out there, get them excited about it, run with them during their first 5K event and celebrate them like there's no tomorrow, and keep this engine going for running, triathlon, cycling, all of the above. Keith, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing how Idaho Running Day transpires and transforms lives on on September 17th.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the time, and thanks for everybody for joining us.
Have a great evening. Bye, guys. Thank you.